Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So glad you could be here. So this video is a full face of first impressions, products I've never used before, and there's a lot of them, so let's get started. First up, we are priming with the No Problem Primer. It is a smooth and pore covering, top secret for perfect makeup. I'm going to just squeeze some onto my finger and just dot that all around my face. Smells like baby lotion. It has the tad of a silicone-y feel, which I'm not mad at because I like to feel that my primer is really putting this kind of like gentle barrier between my skin and the makeup. You never want your makeup to just seep straight onto your skin. You want there to be some kind of protection layer, which is what I like to think primer is for. I do have some dryness right here. It didn't do anything for that, but it is mainly a pore primer, which I'd like to say it did a little bit of its job. Overall, the feel was really nice. It went on easily, did not have to use a whole lot of product, which is always a plus. For foundation, we are using the ever so controversial Tarte Double Duty Beauty Foundation, and I'm kind of hoping this is my shade because it's the only one I got. I love the fact that there's a wand, because wands, oh my gosh, wands, pumps, they always help. I have lots of little blemishes from when I broke out earlier this week and last week, so this really will be a true test as to how full coverage this foundation really is. For half of my face, I'm going to use the Tarte brush that is recommended for using it. It is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Brush. And then for the other half of my face, I'm going to use a damp beauty sponge to see what's the difference. How does it best apply? This brush is like so super soft. It's not leaving any streak marks, which I love. It's evenly distributing the product, which is obviously the main goal. So as you can see, it is not really soaking in too much product, which is also a plus so far. I don't hate it. I'm just very used to the sponge. But this is really nice. Okay, so this is what I have with one layer of foundation. The brush, I think it very evenly distributed the product, and I don't think it soaked up a lot of product at all. It was really soft but firm, and I really like that. So yes, I like the brush. This is my beauty sponge side. It kind of looks the same, honestly. I thought the beauty sponge side was going to look much better, but there's no real difference. As for the foundation, full coverage, no. As you can see my beauty mark here, blemishes right here. I'm going to see if we can add one more layer to see if that'll make a difference and if it really is buildable. So this is the second layer of foundation. As you can see, yes, it added a bit more coverage, but I still see my birthmark here and the other blemishes. I would say it did build up to a full medium coverage, which is still leaving me with a beautiful finish. It is not totally matte. It doesn't look dry. It feels very lightweight. Yeah, I like it so far. It definitely felt a little dense putting it on, but on my face, really, it doesn't really feel like I have two layers of foundation on, so that is a plus. Next up, I am going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this is going to go under my eyes. well as my highlight areas. I don't think I picked a shade light enough. With the other end of my beauty sponge, I am going to dab that out. Just for fun, I'm going to add in a second layer. This is just something I like to do with nude concealers, just to see if it can handle being caked up. I definitely think that this concealer handled the cake very well. It is not, I have a lot of wrinkles under my eyes, and it did not just clump up, or it's just not sitting there and creating lines. It just kind of melted within the little lines and the wrinkles, and I love it. Is it concealing? Yes. So since I see that it is not my exact shade, I can still use this for concealing under my foundation, or any other blemishes or spots or whatever the case may be. I really do love it. It looks beautiful on my skin. It really is creamy but not thick. So it blended out very nicely with the beauty sponge, and I am very impressed. For under eye setting powder, I'm going to go with the Wet n Wild pressed powder. This is the shade Neutral Buff. It is a tad lighter than the usual shade I would go for, and I'm going to use this Real Techniques contour brush to set under my eyes. Although it is powdery, I see that it's not like this powdery mess. It is a pressed powder, but still. And then when there's nothing left on the brush, I just want to reinforce that powder. Make sure it's patted into the lines, looking up, and then as well as looking down. That applied so beautifully. I thought it was going to be much more powdery than I thought, although it is a pressed powder. And for $5.19, you really cannot go wrong. For setting my entire face, I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish in shade 2 medium. This is what it looks like, and I'm just going to go in with the other side of my beauty sponge. Rub that in. Oh wow, a lot of product came off. So I'm going to tap some off, and then I'm just going to roll this all over my face. So the reason that I am rolling and not pouncing like this is because it's a very fine pressed powder. If it were a loose powder, it would go everywhere and I could just gently pounce it all over. Since it's a much more dense and refined powder, it's easier to just make sure it pats into your skin, and it's much easier to blend with the foundation. So I am low-key obsessed with how that powder applied. It was just like, it looked and it felt very luxurious because the way it came off so soft and buttery onto the sponge, like you really couldn't tell that it was a powder by the way that it came off the compact and the way it applied. It didn't make any kind of mess. There was no fallout. Like I said, it was a pressed powder and it was a little dense, but it just went straight onto my skin, and it just melted into my foundation, and that's exactly what you want any kind of powder to do. So that was definitely a plus. Next up, let's warm this face up with some bronzer. This is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. I am going to use a Morphe G5, and I'm just going to rub that all over, tap off the excess, which is a lot. Maybe I just did too much. Okay, we don't want another Maybelline Loose Power situation here. And let's go in. I didn't have to go in a million times and just cake it on and layer it and layer it and layer it. I hate that in a bronzer. So 2 things that you must not do with this bronzer: do not apply a lot and use the correct brush, because I can see with a very big fluffy powder brush it being a very big mess unless you know exactly where it's gonna go, how you want to apply it. But I'm glad I used this brush because it's very dense but it's very precise. So it picked up a lot of product and I placed it exactly where I wanted it to be. We have the blush palette by Tarte. I am so excited to finally be using it. You don't know how long I've been trying to not touch this. The challenge is looking for a color. I'm gonna go with this. There's these 2 mauve colors. I'm gonna go with the deeper one right here. Go in with an e.l.f. angled brush. I love the way it applies. The color ranges are so like, how do they know? How do they know? It's not just like bubblegum pink and it's not too girly. The fact that they had mauves in it and deep plums and beautiful color array. The formula is beautiful. It goes on like butter, melts right onto your skin. Like, it's hard to even call it a powder because of the way it just so smoothly glides onto your skin. So it's safe to say that I love the Amazonian Clay blush formula by Tarte. Usually when my face is looking a little powdery, what I like to do is spray my beauty sponge with some finishing spray, prep spray. This is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I've never ever used it before, so I'm just going to spray my beauty sponge. Smells so good. And I'm just going to dab at my face and make sure that powder is like obsolete. And I basically just do this until I feel every inch of my face is like covered in setting spray and that powder isn't just sitting there making my face look all cakey. For eyes, I'm so excited to be using the Sassy Sienna's palette by Dose of Colors. So it is like this beautiful array of peaches and browns. Like, I'm obsessed. It's all matte too. There's no shimmers, there's no glitter, which is surprising for me to say because I'm like a glitter whore. I love glitter, I love metallics, anything shiny, you got me. I'm just going to take a big fluffy Morphe R40 brush and I'm going to gently dab into the very first shade. So they all have names. The very first shade is Oh So Sassy. This is Bossy. This is Bossy. The next one is Foxy, Brassy, and then Stay Sassy. I am obsessed even with the names. So a lot, whoa, sheesh. A lot came off of the brush. So at first I'm just gonna use this since there's no base eyeshadow color. I'm just going to use a very small amount of that first shade to even out these foundation creases that have formed. Same brush, same color. It is going to go at the very top of the crease, like above the crease. This is as high as our color is going to go, and it's literally this right here. Next up, we're going to use the second shade of the palette, this peachy one here. It's called Bossy, and we're going to use a Morphe Y19. That color is going to go right on that outline of our eyeball. That is our crease. Literally in the dead center of it. As well as this outer corner here, we're just going to tap some of that here. And because I kind of want to do a halo eye, we're going to bring that right here in the center, which as we go darker usually does not hit the center of your the inner corner of our eye. But a halo eye is just when you, instead of focusing the glitter and the metallics on the inner corner to the outer, you're just focusing that into the middle of your eye right here. So as that is getting darker, we're gonna go back with our very first brush, the Morphe R40, and we're gonna diffuse some of that with nothing on the brush, just making sure everything is cohesive and blending in together. For our third shade, we're gonna deepen things up by using the shade Brassy here, and I'm going to use an e.l.f. crease brush. Put that very gently on our crease, just like we did the last color, and then some on the outer and inner corner. We are going to go on with our last shade, and is the very darkest shade. This is Stay Sassy, and we're going to use a Luxie 121 mini tapered brush. This shade, ooh girl no, is going very, very gently on the outer corner when there is nothing left. Notice how I'm only pouncing, and when I've applied most of my product, it's gonna go on the crease and then all the way into the inner corner here, and then repeat so that it blends in. Once this is, ooh, that is crazy. Once that is applied, you're gonna go in with the previous brush like we've been doing and making sure that all blends in nicely. After the last shade, I just took a makeup wipe and wiped at the edge here, just a tad. We are going to finish off this halo eye look with the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. This is the first time using this shade, and it is a shade Smoky Storm. I did mention it in my Sephora haul video. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently place this in the middle, oh shoot, of my lid. And that is the first layer. I'm going to wait for that to dry a tad and then go in with the second layer. So then what I'm going to do after this dries is I'm just going to go back with the last two shades and place that over top of the two edges here, so it looks like a little bit of ombre effect. Just tap the very outside edges here. I'm not rubbing, I'm just pouncing. With the very last brush we used and the very last shade, I'm going to go over that same area as well as the outer corner. Just so even the glitter looks like it was blended in with the rest of the shadow and it's not just sitting up top of the eyelid. This is the whole top of our lid done. So we are now going to move on to the very bottom of our lids, and I'm going to use the last three colors. I'm going to use the brush that it came with. There is a very tight side that I use to spruce up the top with the glitter, and then this is the other side, which is like a flat tiny brush. And I'm gonna go in with the peachy shade for all over. These shadows are so freaking bomb. Like, honestly, I can say it is worth the price. I've had the palette in my hand the entire time. It's so compact, so small, so thin, so light, and the shadows blend so well with each other. Eyes are completely done. I am obsessed, love it. And I'm going to do my brows and lashes off camera, so be right back. So eyes are completely done, brows are completely done. For lashes, I have the Ardell double up lashes. If they look different, it's because I'm a klutz, and when I was taking this pair out the box, I ripped out like 15 of its hairs by mistake, so I'm a savage. But this is my very first time wearing such dramatic lashes, and I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. The only thing about dramatic lashes, full lashes, is just I don't like to feel like I have them on, or like when I'm blinking and it's like you feel everything tickling the top of your freaking eyeball or the inner corner. It's just annoying. I don't like to feel annoyed, and those little things annoy me. So for my waterline, I have the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On. This is the lip pencil in Conspiracy. Totally safe for your eyeliner, just letting you know. Mascara is of course the Voluminous Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. So I totally been dying to use this highlighter. It's the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. I know you've probably seen it. And it is in the shade Molten Gold. I'm gonna go in and try something different. I'm gonna apply it with my beauty sponge, but first what I'm gonna do is I'm going to spray my beauty sponge. Make sure it's nice and moist. I'm going to tap, not drag. I'm going to tap into the highlighter, and then I'm going to apply it. Oh wow. That is so pretty. Oh my goodness. So for lips, I am excited because I picked up the Wet n Wild Velvet Matte Lip Color, and this is what it looks like. It's a twist up, and I've never ever seen these, nor have I seen them talk about them on their website. They must be really new. So this is the shade Looking for Truffle, and I'm excited to use this because their matte liquid lipsticks are out of this world. I'm obsessed. Obsessed doesn't even cover what I feel about this color. It's so smooth. The fact that this is like blowing my mind right now is pretty awesome. It feels so lightweight, so smooth, so creamy. Last but not least, this is the last and final look. I am so happy with how everything came out. I think this is the first time I've liked every single new product I've ever used in a full face first impression. So yeah, that's saying a lot. So maybe next time I won't pluck out 15 of the hairs of my lashes and they won't look as doofy. But thank you so much for tuning in and witnessing my shenanigans. I will catch you guys on my next video. Bye guys.